Hi, it's Lisa here and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I thought I'd take the opportunity to talk to you about my worst ever travel experience. So basically, we'd booked a trip from Birmingham to St. Petersburg in Russia. So it was going to be a 2-week long trip and we'd planned it out to the T. We were going to do a lot. And anyway, so we booked in advance, we booked Birmingham to St. Petersburg, but we did it via Brussels. We got the taxi to Birmingham and that's when it started to go wrong. So we made it through security, we were sat at the departure gate, we were all ready, the thing was coming up on the board, and then there was an announcement to say, unfortunately your flight has been cancelled due to problems with the aircraft. So that was our first cancelled flight and we were meant to get that flight at 6 AM. They booked us on to another flight at 6 PM. So we thought, well, we're not going to hang around in an airport for another 12 hours when I only live 3 miles down the road. So I thought, right, let's get our bags, let's get a taxi home. So then we booked another taxi back to the airport and they booked us on Birmingham to Munich. So we got on that flight, but the problem was it was slightly delayed, and therefore when we got to Munich it meant that we'd missed our connection. We got there probably about 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. We then had to go to the check-in desk. Luckily it was really quiet, there was no one there. They arranged for us a hotel and a taxi to the hotel. The next morning is when things started to go terribly wrong. So we got to the airport and there was loads of people there and we were thinking, what's happening? There was queues everywhere and basically they had to shut the security because there was a breach. So they had to shut the airport. They opened it up. We managed to get through to our gate, so we were there on time at our departure gate and it still said, you know, the flight was on there, it was still up there, people were coming in, and then they cancelled it. So flight number 2 cancelled, and after that it was mayhem because they'd had to cancel so many flights on that day. We had to wait in a queue for 5-6 hours. We were basically bum shuffling on the floor because there were no seats. We were sat in a queue and it was just horrendous. We got to the queue, we got to the front, and basically I said, we've got these flights, we're going to St. Petersburg, and they said, we have no flights. Everything's booked up, it's the school holidays, it's really busy. All they could give us was standby flights. So that was on the evening by the time we got to that point, and they said it's flying tomorrow morning. I think it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, and basically we just had to turn up at the airport. So I said, okay, we need to stay another night in Munich. Can we have the hotel details and things like that, like we had before? And they were like, again, we're sorry, everything's booked out, you need to sort out your own accommodation. And luckily we have people that could help us and we have the money that could help us. You know, some people didn't have the money to go and pay for a hotel themselves and then claim the money back later. Some people couldn't even get out of the airport because they didn't have the visa in order to get through security. So in that sense, we were lucky. I'm quite a calm person and I just didn't see a way out. We were sitting at McDonald's eating some food. My stomach was turning over and this was like the anxiety and just you don't know what you're going to do. You can't control anything. We were looking at, can we drive to Russia from Germany? We were looking at, can we drive to another airport and get some flights? Can we go to Moscow? We were just looking at all the options. And at the end of that evening, at the end of that night, we just thought, right, we need to get to bed. We had to book another taxi to pick us up. And basically we said, right, we'll wait till tomorrow and we'll just have to go to the airport. Maybe it'll be better and maybe we can sort something out. So we got to the airport the next morning and it was terrible. All these people that couldn't leave the airport, there was beds everywhere, these put you up beds down the corridors, all the way along the shops. I can't believe it. I mean, I would hate to have been there and having to stay there all night. So we managed to get through security again with our luggage another time. We were waiting for our airplane, but we thought we're not gonna get on it. Basically, we thought we're not gonna get on it. There's so many people. So we got in another queue in order to find out where our baggage was and if we could book on another flight. So we started waiting in this queue, and I think we'd been in this queue for an hour and a half. I'd managed to book a backup flight. I managed to buy a flight from Munich to Moscow. In the meantime, we heard some people speaking in Russian about how people were getting on flights. So even if you had a standby ticket, people were getting on flights. And we thought, oh God, we looked at our time and thought, maybe it's worth going to the check-in gate. So I ran ahead, got to the check-in gate and spoke to the woman, left Irina in the queue just in case. And I spoke to the woman at the check-in gate and I said, can we get on the flight? And she said, until everyone that's supposed to be on the flight has checked in, we don't know who can get on. So we were waiting by the gate again. It was like deja vu all over again. And my name came up to say I could get on the flight, and Irina and Stan couldn't get on the flight. So we're like, well, it's either all of us go or none of us go. So we had to wait for everyone to go on, and she was already late. Like, you should have flown by now, should have taxied. She was getting our passports and doing all this, and I said, can we go? Is it okay? Can they get on? And then eventually, after a long pause and a long wait and her tapping away on her keyboard, she's like, here's the tickets for 3 of you, go. So we literally got our tickets, got on the plane. Irina and Stan were sitting together, I was sitting somewhere else, and we just sat on the plane, plunked ourselves down, and just tears were coming to my eyes, and it started to taxi off, and we're like, thank God for that, because that was 2 days in Munich airport, just waiting, just trying to get on a flight. Because it was so quick getting on that flight, our luggage didn't have the time to get on the plane. So when we got into St. Petersburg, we had to sort that out. So yeah, that's my worst travel experience ever. If you've had anything like that, please share it in the comments below. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And after all that, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.